Hare Krishna and Pranam dear devotees. So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome to our Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita sessions, and so we will continue from our reading of introduction from Bhagavad Gita. And अभी तक हमने कुछ sessions करे हैं introduction से, so we will continue for today as well. So before we continue, we will do Mangalacharan together. Let me share my screen. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadanti Swapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudpada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansa cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitancha cha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all the Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatt, Gopal Bhatt and Srila Jeev Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityanand along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srimati Radharani and Shri Krishna along with their associates Shri Lalita and Shri Vishakha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnav devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone, just like the desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. I offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas and other in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone to our Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita sessions, and we are reading from Bhagavad Gita introduction. And अभी तक हमने कुछ सेशंस करे हैं और लास्ट सेशन में हमने पढ़ा था कि there are 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita: ईश्वर, जीव, प्रकृति, काल and कर्म. ईश्वर means the supreme personality of Godhead or God, and Jeev means living entities, and there is Prakriti, which is material nature, and Kal, which is time, and Karma, which is the activities which the living entities do in the purview of time under the modes of material nature. हमने मोड्स ऑफ मटेरियल नेचर के बारे में भी पढ़ा था कि जो ये जो प्रकृति है ये 3 गुणों में उसका विभाजित किया गया है, जो कि है सत्वगुण, रजोगुण और तमोगुण, मोड ऑफ गुडनेस, पैशन एंड इग्नोरेंस. उसके बाद हमने ये भी पढ़ा था कि there is everything is in some control and there is a supreme controller and who has supreme consciousness. हमने ये एग्जांपल से समझा था कि that I am conscious of my body. Similarly, the supreme personality of Godhead, the supreme controller, is conscious of everything. That is why he is supremely conscious. And we also discussed about what are karma and the activities that the living entities perform under the purview of time and under the conditioning of their under the modes of their material nature in which they are performing is called karma. So karma can have good results and bad results, but the activities which have no results is called akarma or bhakti. And when the activities are purified, these purified activities, this is called bhakti. हमने ये भक्ति की definition ये पढ़ी थी last में, जैसे कि यहाँ पे आपको भी screen पे दिख रहा है. तो हम यहीं से शुरू करेंगे. ये हमने पढ़ लिया था. Yes, so we have to start from here. So I'll start reading. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned. False consciousness is exhibited under the impression that I am a product of material nature. This is false ego. One who is absorbed in the thought of bodily conceptions cannot understand his situation. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to liberate one from the bodily conception of life, and Arjun put himself in this position in order to receive this information from the Lord. One must become free from the bodily conception of life. That is the preliminary activity for the transcendentalist. That is the preliminary activity. That means that is not the end goal. लिबरेशन और मुक्ति जिसको हम कहते हैं कि दिस इज वन ऑफ द पुरुषार्थ, जिसको हम पुरुषार्थ कहते हैं कि द फोर पुरुषार्थ विच आर धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष, जो लास्ट में मोक्ष आता है. देयर इज अ पंचम पुरुषार्थ आल्सो व्हिच इज कॉल्ड भक्ति. सो मुक्ति is not the end, because from when one is liberated, then bhakti starts, then actual bhakti starts. That is a preliminary activity for the transcendentalist. This is very important for us to understand in Bhagavad Gita. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Mukti or liberation means freedom from material consciousness. देखिए यहाँ पे definition आई कि mukti or liberation means freedom from material consciousness. That means कि there is disengagement in material consciousness, but that means we cannot be disengaged and be and not be engaged in the same time. We have to be engaged in something and become disengaged in material consciousness and become spiritually situated, become spiritual conscious. That is what Krishna consciousness is actually teaching us. That is what Bhagavad Gita is actually teaching us. That what is the end goal, जिसको हम बोलते हैं कि the पंचम पुरुषार्थ और भक्ति. So that is what Bhagavad Gita is also going to teach us. आगे बढ़ते हैं. In Srimad Bhagavatam also the definition of liberation is given. Muktir hitvan yatha rupam swarupena vyavasthita. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situated in pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness, and therefore we find at the last stage of Gita's instruction that Krishna is asking Arjun whether he is now in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is the whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. Consciousness is already there because we are part and parcel of the Lord. But for us, there is the affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. But the Lord, being the Supreme, is never affected. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the small individual souls. That Lord is Achyut, the one who never falls. जिसको हम बोलते हैं. And the living entities, they are tathastha shakti, that they have to be either dependent on Lord's internal energy or dependent on Lord's external energy. When we are dependent on Lord's internal energy, that means we are spiritually conscious and we are in Yogmaya. And when we are dependent on Lord's external energy, that means we are in Mahamaya. And we are acting according to our modes, and we are contaminated with the layer of our false ego that I am this body, I am not this soul. And I forget that I have a Supreme Father who is and I have an eternal relationship with that Supreme Conscious Father, and I also have some duty, some services to perform to that Father, which I have completely forgotten because of the purview of that false ego. And then that is called conditioning. When we come to this material world, this is the conditioning that develops. And when we understand, and when we come to this Krishna consciousness, and when we start chanting, and we start honoring the Krishna Prasad, and then our consciousness starts getting clear, and then we are interested in knowing more and more, and then with Gyan, and then little bit of Vairagya, then our journey starts, and this the beautiful journey of clearing this consciousness, clearing this mirror of the heart, and understanding what is my relationship with the Lord, and what am I supposed to do, and this is my direction, like that. आगे बढ़ते हैं. What is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. Then what am I? In contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the enjoyer. ये हम सब relate कर सकते हैं. We all can relate that eventually this is what I am means, that I am the master of whatever I am owning. I am the master of my house. I am the master of my children. I am the master of my wife. I am the master of my parents also nowadays. So that is how we take to this I am. The world revolves because every living being thinks that he is the Lord and creator of the material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am the creator, and the other is that I am the enjoyer. But actually, the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer. And the living entity, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is neither the creator nor the enjoyer, but a cooperator. He is the created and the enjoyed. So, see, such a beautiful line that Srila Prabhupada is writing, that I am neither the creator or neither I am the enjoyer. We all can come to this state of understanding in a position in our life that I'm not the creator, because whatever I'm doing, I've been provided with already so many facilities that I've been provided with, and I'm also not enjoying, because even like as soon as I start enjoying, that is the end, because then there is something happens which at all it stops, and I realize, oh, there is so much shashvatam, there is so much temporariness in this world. So I'm neither the enjoyer neither the creator. So I am the created and the enjoyed. जैसे हमने पढ़ा था लास्ट में कि भगवान बता रहे हैं 7th चैप्टर में that we are also Prakriti, superior, but we are also Prakriti, and he is Purush. So Prakriti means which is enjoyed, and Purush means who is the enjoyer. So I am supposed to give joy to Krishna, not that I am supposed to enjoy myself. But I think in this situation, I think that, oh, I am the creator and I am the enjoyer, because I have some control. But I have not the supreme control. I may be having some control. If I am flying an aeroplane, I may be at that position, I may be thinking that, oh, I have some control. But actually, that control is being done by Paramatma. The soul is only desiring. It is the Paramatma who is fulfilling all the things in this material world. And it is through his fulfilling, we think, oh, we are doing it. Because it happens so quickly. But actually, what is happening? The soul is only desiring. Suppose I want to move this hand of mine. I am only desiring that, oh, this moves. But actually, it is the Paramatma who is allowing me and who is fulfilling this desire of mine. Because see, if that is not so, so for example, if there is a person who has some paralysis, doesn't mean that he does not have the desire. But it is because the paralysis is there, he's not able to move his hand. Then what could be the reason that he's not able to move? Everything is there, the body is there, everything is there, but because the Paramatma is not allowing him to move now. So that is also one of the way that we can look into, that everything is being provided by Paramatma, and we are only desiring. But we think, oh, I am doing it. For instance, a part of the machine cooperates with the whole machine. A part of the body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, legs, eyes, and so on are all parts of the body, but they are not actually the enjoyers. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs move, the hands supply food, the teeth chew, and all parts of the body are engaged in satisfying in stomach, because the stomach is the principal factor that nourishes the body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its roots, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to be kept in a healthy state, then the parts of the body must cooperate to feed the stomach. So, देखिए यहाँ पे Prabhupada is giving the analogy with our stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we, as subordinate living beings, are meant to cooperate to satisfy him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all other parts of the body. If the fingers of the hand think that they should take food themselves instead of giving it to stomach, then they will be frustrated. The central figure of creation and the enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation, they enjoy. So that is the secret, that without Krishna, there cannot be any happiness, and without Krishna, there cannot be any joy. Because if we are, very simple example, जैसे प्रभुपाद यहाँ पे दे रहे हैं कि if suppose this hand is there and this finger is there, let's suppose tomorrow this finger become conscious and it denies to cooperate with the hand and with the body, that I will not feed the stomach, because eventually that my hands are making me get the food to my mouth, and the stomach is eventually is enjoying, the tongue is enjoying, the stomach is enjoying. But let's suppose tomorrow this finger denies that I am not going to do this. So that means the finger also suffers and the body also suffers. But the one who suffers the most is the finger, because the body has other parts as well. The finger is meant to serve something, but somehow the other the body manages. But it is the finger who is going to be suffered to be the most if in finger gets detached from the body in that manner. So similarly, that if we remain in a cooperative manner with the Lord, and if we understand, yes, I am supposed to be connected to this body in that manner, and supposed to serve the stomach, and to suppose serve the Lord, and I'm supposed to do this. That is the only way this finger can also be satisfied, and in a similar manner, the soul or the living entity can be satisfied. The only way that which we can be satisfied is through this only. Otherwise, no matter how much we are going to be finding out in this material world, we are not going to be satisfied at any moment. We can take so many examples that has happened in front of our lives only, that there have been so many big personalities who had so many things, so much money, so much wealth, so much power also, and then they are so much frustrated with their life, they commit suicide and they end their life. So, and in that way, that means there is no satisfaction. So in that way, we can understand that even if we get so many this opulences and material, if we subtract Krishna from that, then means everything is null and void. I was reading one of the quote from Srila Prabhupada. So what Prabhupada says is like this, that all these things in this material world, that whatever we can accumulate, whatever we can get, whatever we have, are like zeros. And Krishna is like that one in front of those zeros. So if you remove that one, all the zeros, they have no value. So many zeros that you keep on collecting. Even if you have 100 zeros, it is not going to have any value if you don't have that one in front of those zeros. And Krishna is that one. So that is something that we have to understand and imbibe that in our lives. Let's read further. The relation is also like that of the master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then the servant is satisfied. Similarly, the Supreme Lord should be satisfied. Although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are there also in the living entities, because these tendencies are there in the Supreme Lord, who has created the manifested cosmic world. We shall find, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprised of the Supreme Controller, the controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time, and karma or activities. And all of these are explained in this text. All of these taken completely from the complete whole, and the complete whole is called the Supreme Absolute Truth. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are the complete personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchid Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes, and he is the source of everything that is emanating. Everything that we can perceive or we can see, or even non-perceivable, everything is, the source is Krishna, and he is the cause of all causes. This is from Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma is praying to Krishna that he is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karan Karanam. It is also explained in the Gita that impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete supreme person, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Brahman is more explicitly explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of the sunshine. The impersonal Brahman is the shining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is incomplete realization of the Absolute Truth, and so also is the conception of Paramatma. In the 15th chapter, it shall be seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottam, is above both impersonal Brahman and the partial realization of Paramatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Satchid Ananda Vigraha. Actually, यहाँ पे जैसे Prabhupada is mentioning about Brahma Jyoti and impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. So this is like from Srimad Bhagavatam, जहाँ पे ये बताया गया है कि जो भगवान को रियलाइज करने की जो स्टेजेस हैं वो 3 हैं, मतलब लेवल 1, लेवल 2 एंड लेवल 3. जो सबसे पहले है वो है ब्रह्म ज्योति और द इम्पर्सनल ब्राह्मण, जहाँ पे कि ब्रह्म ज्योति जिसको हम समझ सकते हैं, दिस इज द इफल्जेंस एमिनेटिंग फ्रॉम द बॉडी ऑफ द सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉडहेड. And jahan pe, like where the impersonalist tends to say that after this death, after the death and after this body, I'm going to merge in that impersonal Brahman, which is there, which is right, but that is incomplete realization. And the next level is Paramatma. Jisme we realize the Bhagwan feature as Paramatma, because Paramatma is there in each and every part and parcel of the universe and everything. So that is also incomplete realization. And but the complete realization is Bhagwan realization. तो जैसे हमने यहाँ पे पढ़ा कि सुप्रीम पर्सनैलिटी ऑफ गॉडहेड इज कॉल्ड सच्चिद आनंद विग्रह, है ना. तो द सत फीचर, द सत रियलाइजेशन इज द इम्पर्सनल रियलाइजेशन, एंड द चित रियलाइजेशन इज दैट परमात्मा रियलाइजेशन. सत मीन्स इटर्निटी, चित मीन्स knowledge, and anand means bliss. And that complete realization, which has the realization of the other two, is called Bhagwan. And Bhagwan is not impersonal. He is a personality. He is a person. Like you, like me, he is a person, but he is a supreme person. That is the difference. The difference हम बहुत बार understand भी कर चुके हैं. So that is these are the 3 levels by which we can understand God. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti, Shabdeti. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. आगे पढ़ते हैं. The Brahma Samhita begins in this way. देखिए आ गया वो जो हमने अभी पढ़ा था कि ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिर आदिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम. Govinda, Krishna, is the cause of all causes. He is the primal cause, and he is the very form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat, eternity feature. Paramatma realization is the realization of his Sat, Chit, eternal knowledge. But realization of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is realization of all the transcendental features, Sat, Chit, and Anand, eternity, knowledge, and bliss in complete Vigraha form. It is not formless, because some people say that, oh, God is light, God doesn't have any form. That is incomplete understanding. Not having the form does not mean that he is not having the form. That means he is not having the material form. He is having all spiritual form, but he has that form. Vigraha, तभी तो बोला गया है कि सच्चिदानंद विग्रह. Vigraha means it has a form, and he has form as the 2-handed Shyam Sundar form, 4-handed Narayan form, and like that, and multi-handed, and like the form of Virat Roop, जो कि भगवान ने दिखाया था. उसके बारे में हम आगे जाके जानेंगे. So like that. People, आगे पढ़ते हैं. People with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal, but he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Vidadhati Kaman. Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, the supreme absolute truth is also in the ultimate issue of person, and realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all the transcendental features in his complete form. This is the most important understanding out of everything. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. Common sense वाली बात है ना कि if God himself is lacking some form, it means he is not God, because God is complete. and he has the complete whole. If there is anything which is missing, and that is something that we have, which is doesn't make any logic, right? So then means he, the one who is giving the form to everybody, why won't he have any form? And for example, my father, I have a form, right? I have this whole form. My father had a form, his father had a form, and similarly we keep on going on, and we can relate to anything in this material world which is formless, and we cannot even think of even one thing which is formless. Even air also has a form in a manner, and even everything has a form. But then means if everything has a form, how can there is a creator can be formless? The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless, or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience. Otherwise, it cannot be complete. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies. Parashaya Sakti Vividheva Shruyate. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself, because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to Sankhya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the Supreme Whole, and when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. Bhutva bhutva praliyate. ये आता है भगवद गीता 8.17 में. that there is annihilation and creation going on simultaneously, like again and again. This cycle is there. There is complete facility for all small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. This seems like a tongue twister. दोबारा पढ़ते हैं इसको. There is complete facility for the small complete units. Small complete unit कौन किसकी बात कर रहे हैं प्रभुपाद? वो हमारी बात कर रहे हैं. Small complete units means the living entities, and complete facility means, and to do complete facility to do what? To realize the complete. That means to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is the facility? Bhagavad Gita is there, the Srimad Bhagavatam is there, all the Vedas and Puranas are there. So this is the facility that the Supreme Lord has provided us to understand Him. And all sort of incompleteness, इसके बावजूद भी अगर कोई incompleteness है, is experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. Because we don't have the complete knowledge, and because of our ignorance and because of lack of knowledge, that is why there is incompleteness that we may experience. Oh, there is incompleteness. Because कृष्णा भगवान बताते हैं भगवत गीता में, वेदेश्च सर्वैर अहम एव वेद्यो वेदांत वेदकृत वेद एव चाहम, कि out of all the Vedas I am to be known, I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the knower of the Vedas. ये भगवत गीता में 15वें अध्याय में आता है कि सारे वेदों का जो सार है वो मुझे जानना है. वेदों का जो सारा सार है वो यही है कि भगवान को हमेशा याद रखो और उनको भी भूलो ना. Never forget Krishna and always remember Krishna. That is the sum and substance of all the Vedic literature. And भगवत गीता में भगवान स्वयं बोल रहे हैं कि वेदों का जो पूरा जो सार है और उनका जो पूरा गोल है वो ये है कि मुझे जानना. वेदेश्च सर्वैर अहम एव वेद्यो वेदांत वेदकृत वेद एव चाहम. So Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of Vedic wisdom. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal. ये देखिए बहुत interesting example है. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. बड़ी common sense बात लगती है ना कि like if I touch a stool of anybody, forget a human, forget an animal, even if I touch a stool of myself, that is considered impure and I would have to take bath. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all the antiseptic properties. So Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all the doubts and mistakes, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all that Vedic knowledge. तो ये बहुत अच्छा example दिया कि we may think out of our common sense that this is something wrong which may be doing, but because it is Vedic injunction, we accept it because Vedas are the authority. Just the scriptures are the authority, and Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedas. That means Bhagavad Gita is the highest authority. इसका और example आपको मैं बताता हूँ कि that how there can be contradictions in our thinking and the Vedic injunction. जैसे कि यहाँ पे example दिया गया a stool of an animal, right? एक और example हम ले सकते हैं कि for example if I touch any body's bones, like for example if somebody has expired, if I touch the bones, that is considered very impure, correct? And in that, after that also I have to take a bath, and that is considered very impure, that if I touch somebody's bones. But the conch shell which is blown, which is there, that is also a bone and of a creature in the sea, but that is not considered impure. In fact, that is blown before we do any kind of artik, and according to Pancharatrika Vidhi, it is a part of that arti only. So that is like one of the more examples that we can also take, that how Vedas give authority and they are right, and we may be mistaken because of our lack of consciousness, but the Vedas are never mistaken because that is they are not created by any human. They are coming directly from the Lord, and anything which is coming directly from the Lord is not having the four kind of defects, which is imperfect senses or illusion, committing mistakes, and cheating propensity. So these are the four defects that all the human beings or all the living entities are born with, which is like imperfect senses. We have our imperfect senses. We tend to become illusioned, and we tend to commit mistakes, and we all tend to have cheating propensities that we may lie. So these are the four defects, and Vedas are beyond these four defects. They don't have these four defects, and they are above these the modes of the nature as well, and they are above the these four mistakes and these four defects, because they are coming directly from the Adipurush, Lord Krishna. So like that. आगे पढ़ते हैं. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge, which comes down as is stated in Bhagavad Gita by the Parampara, disciplic succession. We have to receive the knowledge. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the supreme spiritual master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to the succession of spiritual masters. Arjun, the student who took lessons from the Lord Shri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One who is not allowed to accept one is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. That is why it is so very important that we understand and we hear from the authorized and right sources. At Subhi, there was a message on the group, and jisme Giraj Prabhu had put up one of the importance, that what is the importance of hearing from proper source, and that was from Srimad Bhagavatam, and that also told the same thing, that that we must accept Bhagavad Gita without any our self-motivated interpretations. Because let's suppose I give my commentary on Bhagavad Gita. That means, first of all, I am not authorized, and even I am not even capable of doing so. Let's suppose even if I don't even respect that, even if I do, what is the value of my commentary? What will happen if I do, and what will others gain? Because I am, first of all, giving wrong things, and with over my own like mental speculation, I am writing things on my own. Or if somebody is saying, if Krishna is saying manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame veshyas yuktevam atmanan matparayana, he's saying surrender unto me and offer obeisances unto me. And if somebody says that, oh, the Krishna is saying not to me, but to the Krishna who is within the body, that is Mayavad philosophy. That means the person has not understood Bhagavad Gita in the right manner. There are many big scholars, like who Prabhupada would point out that they are not authorized to write any commentary, because this is not something, any mundane text that we can read or we can write our commentaries on. This has to come from a disciplic succession and in a bona fide manner, and it has to be like in conjunction with what the previous acharyas have written. Then only it is a bona fide commentary. Then only it is a bona fide understanding that will bring upon. Otherwise, it will not have any effect also, because it has no potency. Anything which is without the conjunction of the sampradaya, or without the conjunction of a bona fide disciplic succession, that will not have any effect, neither any recognition. Like, for example, if somebody's children would go to a school or would want to go to a school, the parents would first look to which board the school is recognized, to which board the school is affiliated with. If the school authority would say, oh, we are not associated with any of the boards, but we will teach your children and we will give you best education, even if the education is very good, even then the parent will not send their children, because it is not authorized and it is not recognized. What is going to be the value of the degree that the school is going to give, or the certificate the school is going to give, because it is not recognized in the society? Similarly, the Vedic injunction is also that there are 4 types of sampradayas by which we can be connected to, and which are bona fide, by which we can get this knowledge. One sampradaya is Brahma Sampradaya, which is starting from Lord Brahma. Other is Rudra Sampradaya, which is starting from Lord Shiva. And the third is Shri Sampradaya, starting from Goddess Lakshmi. And the fourth is Kumar Sampradaya, starting from the 4 Kumaras. So these are the 4 sampradayas under which, if somebody is there, then means it is a bona fide. Other than that, the Vedas do not accept any authority, and which is also given in the Vedas only. So we should be very careful to whose Bhagavad Gita or whose commentaries we are reading, because that is very important for our spiritual progress and our spiritual path. Like that. आगे पढ़ते हैं. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called Aparushya, meaning that they are different from the words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with 4 defects. देखिए वही आ गया जो भी हमने. A mundaner is sure to commit mistakes, is invariably illusioned, has a tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. इसको याद रखना हो तो एक short form है IICC. II मतलब imperfect senses and illusion, and CC मतलब committing mistakes and cheating propensity. So abbreviation क्या है? IICC. So like that. So these are the 4 imperfections that everybody is going to have, but not the Supreme Lord and not the Vedas, and also not the pure devotees also. Those who are pure devotees, they also don't have these imperfections. With these 4 imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all pervading knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities, it was imparted unto the heart of Brahma, the first created living being. And Brahma, in his turn, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything, Bhuktaram Yagyatapasam, in the universe, and he is the original creator, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, and the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Prapitatmaha, because Brahma is addressed as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and he is the creator of the grandfather. So Prapitatmaha, Pitamaha, Prapitamaha. So no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance. To utilize those things which are set aside for us by the Lord. This is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, Arjun decided that he should not fight in the battle of Kurukshetra. This was his own decision. Arjun told that the Lord that it was not possible for him to enjoy the kingdom after killing his own kinsman. That decision was based on the body because he was thinking that the body was himself and that his body relations or expansions were his brothers, nephews, brothers-in-law, grandfathers, and so on. Therefore, he wanted to satisfy his bodily demands. Bhagavad Gita was spoken by the Lord just to change this view, and at the end, Arjun decides to fight under the directions of the Lord when he says, Karishe vachanam tava, I shall act according to your word. In this world, men are not meant for quarreling like cats and dogs. Men must be intelligent to realize the importance of human life and refuse to act like ordinary animals. A human being should realize that the aim of his life and this direction is given in all Vedic literatures, and the essence is given in Bhagavad Gita. Vedic literature is meant for human beings, not for animals. Animals can kill other living animals, and there is no question of sin on their part. But if a man kills an animal for the satisfaction of his uncontrolled taste, he must be responsible for breaking the laws of nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly explained that there are three kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature: the activities of goodness, of passion, and of ignorance. Similarly, there are three kinds of eatables also: eatables in goodness, passion, and ignorance. All of this is clearly described, and if we properly utilize the instructions of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, then our whole life will become purified. And ultimately, we will be able to reach the destination which is beyond this material sky. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramama. This is from 15.6. That destination is called Sanatan sky, the eternal spiritual sky. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being, stays for some time, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. That is the law of the material world. Whether we use as an example this body or a piece of fruit or anything. But beyond this temporary world, there is another world of which we have information. That world consists of another nature which is called Sanatan, eternal. The Jeev is also described as Sanatan, eternal, and the Lord is also described as Sanatan in the 11th chapter. We have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and because we are all quantitatively one, the Sanatan Dham or sky, the Sanatan superior personality, and the Sanatan living entities, the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatan occupation or Sanatan Dharma, which is the eternal occupation of the living entity. So this is very, very important that starting में जैसे प्रभुपाद बता रहे हैं कि जो 6 लक्षण होते हैं किसी भी लिविंग एंटिटी के, तो वो ये 6 होते हैं कि it comes into being, उसका एक birth होता है and then it stays for some time तो उसके बाद there is some maintenance, and कैसे होता है, there is a birth and then the living entity grows and then it stays for some time and it produces byproducts. For example, their reproduction is there and some kind of other byproducts are also there, and then it dwindles कि थोड़ा सा like ढीला पड़ जाते हैं, and then eventually dies or vanishes. These things, 6 things are applicable for all the living entities. Actually, this is the definition of a living thing. जैसे कि हम साइंस में पढ़ते हैं ना 7th क्लास में 8th क्लास में, that define what is a living thing and define what is non-living. We say a living thing is something which moves, and non-living something which is not moving. That is not the actual definition. The definition according to the scriptures is that a living thing is something which has these 6 characteristics. It comes into being when means there is birth, it grows, and then it stays for some time. It grows and then it reproduces, and then it stays for some time, and then it dwindles, and then it eventually vanishes. So this 6 characteristics is there in animals, is there in humans, is there in plants, is there in insects, everything. So these 6 things are there. And we being the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord is Sanatan, we are Sanatan, and there is a nature beyond this material nature which is also Sanatan. It is not temporary, it is eternal. And the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to imbibe this whole thing, is to make us understand that who we are Sanatan living entities, who is the Sanatan Lord, who is Sanatan God, and what is our Sanatan relationship, eternal relationship with the Lord, and to revive our Sanatan Dharam, or the occupation that what we have, which we have forgotten completely. So this is the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita. In one liner, if you want to put what is the whole purpose and why we should read it, this is the answer, that to revive our Sanatan Dharam, to revive our Sanatan occupation, which is the eternal occupation of a living entity. So like that, this is what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. आगे बढ़ते हैं. We are temporarily engaged in different activities, but all of these activities can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up the activities which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. That is called our pure life. The Supreme Lord and his transcendental abode are both Sanatan and are the living entities, and the combined association of the Supreme Lord and the living entities in the Sanatan abode is the perfection of human life. दोबारा पढ़ते हैं. The Supreme Lord and his transcendental abode are both Sanatan, as are the living entities, and the combined association of the Supreme Lord and the living entities in the Sanatan abode is the perfection of human life. That means, what is the perfection of human life? To go back home, back to Godhead. हम सुनते हैं इस चीज को, that we all should go back home, back to Godhead. Our home is Sanatan, Golok, Vrindavan, Vaikunt, and we should go there. And what we should do to go there, and to go there we also have to understand what are the activities which are being done there, and how is that place. For example, let's suppose tomorrow you want to go to Germany, or tomorrow you want to go to Japan. That means before you go, first of all, you have to make some arrangement to go. That means you have to buy ticket. There has to be some travel, air travel has to be there. You have to rely on a genuine airline which is going to take you there. Before you also take you there, if you want to go, you must have some interest that, what is there? What am I going to do there? What is the activity which I'm going to do? And how to go there, and what I'm going to do there. Like once I reach there, what am I going to do? That is also all the arrangement has to be done before, right? So that means doing all those things is and attaining that thing is the perfection of it. When we do all these things, that means we come into that centralized situation and we start getting ourselves centralized. Oh, I'm inquiring that what are the activities which are being happened there, and why should I go? Because if I'm going there, there has to be some purpose. And if this world is temporary, if this is not my home, that means my home is somewhere else. Then why did I end it up here? This is also one of the questions. ये हमने पहले डिस्कस तो कर लिया है, बट इट विल इवेंचुअली आल्सो कम with more clarity in further classes as well, in the further sessions, that what led what were the activities. If I'm not supposed to be here and I'm supposed to go there, I have to find out that what are the do's and don'ts that I should perform there so that I don't end it up here again. और उसके बाद भगवान ये भी बताते हैं कि एक बार आप चले जाओगे वापस नहीं आओगे. यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद धाम परमम मम. Having once reached there, one never comes back. So that is what we the whole perfection of life lies in. And इसको हम बोलते हैं संबंध, अभिधेय and प्रयोजन. कि अभिधेय means the whole journey. Sambandh means what is my relationship with the Lord. Abhiday means to establish, and before Abhiday and after that comes Prayojan. But before we understand Abhiday, let's understand what is Prayojan. Prayojan means what is the end goal. End goal means to attain the eternal relation, to get back my eternal relationship and to serve the Lord with the loving devotional service. That means to attain the love of Godhead, right? And to go back home, back to Godhead. And the activities that which we are going to perform to do that is called Abhiday. So this is what Sambandh, Abhiday and Prayojan is. So what we'll do is that we will rest our session here and we will continue from this in our next session. Right. And now Hare Krishna, Samendra Prabhu. Good to see you. How are you now? How is your health now?
I am feeling better now. Better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are at home only?
Ji.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So we will all pray for you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So we have this, we have Samendra Prabhu with us. He has joined for us for the first time. Prabhuji met us in our picnic, spiritual picnic, which we had gone to with our group at Chhatarpur. And Prabhuji is a very nice person, and he had come with his family there, and he had a very good time with us. And but today we came to know that Prabhuji is suffering from dengue. And we all pray for Prabhuji that may he get well soon. So Prabhuji, all our prayers are with you, and get well soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, and also we would also want to pray for Sathi Mataji's father. Mataji's father is admitted to hospital because of illness and because of some other illness, and so but Mataji is still here attending the session, and so it is a very commendable thing. And but we would also want to pray for Mataji's father, that may Mataji's father get well soon and come home as early as possible with good health. So we all pray and we all chant for both Prabhuji, both the Prabhujis. We will chant for once the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. So तो हमने अभी आज काफी ज्यादा पढ़ा, एंड मेरे को लगा कि मैंने आप सबको बहुत बोर भी किया होगा, एंड so kindly forgive me if you all got bored, and but it was a very nice reading, and हम देखिए हमको कितना कुछ सीखने को मिला आज भगवद गीता से. एंड तो इसके अलावा मैं आपसे ये शेयर करना चाहता था कि अभी जो मास चल रहा है, जो मंथ चल रहा है, वो कार्तिक का महीना चल रहा है. एंड जो कार्तिक का महीना होता है उसमें वो भगवान को अत्यंत प्रिय है, और इसमें कुछ एक्टिविटीज हैं और कुछ चीजें हैं जो आप परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं भगवान को अर्पित करने के लिए. कार्तिक इज वेरी डियर टू लॉर्ड, एंड वी शुड ऑल प्रे in this month, and we can do lot many things in this month to attract Krishna's mercy upon us and to progress in our spiritual life. जैसे कि तो ये जो मंथ होता है इसमें आप भगवान को दिया दिखा सकते हैं, और एक दामोदर अष्टकम प्रेयर्स है उसको आप पढ़ सकते हैं. हम कोशिश करेंगे कि हम अभी ये जो मंथ चल रहा है ये 20 अक्टूबर से 19 नवंबर तक रहेगा। बीच में हमारी कुछ क्लासेस और होंगी, तो हम कोशिश करेंगे कि हम एक डेडिकेटेडली क्लास हम एक इसके ऊपर करें। और बट अभी के लिए आप ये कर सकते हैं दैट शाम को या फिर दिन में किसी भी टाइम में जब भी आपको समय मिलता है, तो आप भगवान को आप दिया दिखा सकते हैं, घी का या फिर तिल के तेल का। और एक दामोदर अष्टकम प्रेयर्स है जिनको आप पढ़ सकते हैं और भगवान को आप सिंग कर सकते हैं। तो और ये जो कार्तिक का जो महीना है इसको हम दामोदर मंथ भी बोलते हैं। ये दामोदर मंथ में बहुत सारी ऐसी एक्टिविटीज हुई थी जो कि बहुत ही इनकरेजिंग है। और जैसे कि दिवाली भी इसी महीने में आता है, शरद पूर्णिमा भी इसी महीने में आती है। और जो दामोदर लीला हुई थी भगवान की, जिसमें यशोदा मैया ने भगवान जी को उनके उदर से, उनके पेट से उनको बांधा था उखल से, और जिसकी पूरी लीला आती है दामोदर लीला, उसके बारे में भी हम चर्चा करेंगे। लास्ट पिछले साल भी हमने करी थी, इस साल हम फिर से इसके ऊपर चर्चा करेंगे। भगवान की लीलाओं को तो सुनना जितना जितना मर्जी हम सुने उतना कम है, तो हम उनके बारे में भी कोशिश करेंगे कि हम उनसे चर्चा करें। और आप भी इनको सुन सकते हैं। और कृष्णा बुक अगर आपके पास है तो उसमें जो दामोदर लीला आती है और गोवर्धन पूजा जो आती है उसको आप पढ़ सकते हैं इस महीने में। और और दीपदान जो है, जो मैंने आपको बताया, उसका मैं लिंक आपको ग्रुप में डाल दूंगा। और जो दामोदर अष्टकम की जो प्रेयर्स हैं वो आपको मैं ग्रुप में डाल दूंगा। तो आप पूरे परिवार के संग आप ये एक्टिविटी कर सकते हैं। इट विल हार्डली टेक 10 मिनट्स। और आपको विश्वास नहीं होगा कि ये इतना ज्यादा प्रिय है भगवान को, और इतने इतने हजारों लाखों गुना टाइम्स आपको इसका रिजल्ट मिलता है भक्ति में, स्पेशली भक्ति में, कि आपकी भक्ति बहुत जल्दी प्रोग्रेस होनी शुरू हो जाती है। और जिसने नहीं शुरू की उसके लिए शुरू करने के लिए बहुत अच्छा ये जो महीना है। कि इसको आप ऐसे समझ सकते हैं कि इट इज लाइक बम्पर सेल जैसे होती है, कि किसी अगर आप जैसे बिग फ्लिपकार्ट का बिग बिलियन डेज होता है, अमेजोन की वो दिवाली सेल बम्पर सेल होती है, कि एवरीथिंग इज ऑन सो मच ऑफर, एक तरह से कि 90% ऑफ, 95% ऑफ की तरह से आपको ये मिल रहा है। आप कुछ भी छोटी सी एक्टिविटी करते हैं, कोई सर्विस करते हैं, भगवान के लिए दिया अर्पित करते हैं, ये प्रेयर सिंग करते हैं, तो आपको हजारों लाखों गुना इसका आपको क्रेडिट मिलता है और भक्ति में। और आपकी भक्ति और ज्यादा प्रोग्रेस होगी। और इट इज अ वेरी गुड मंथ टू प्रे। एंड भगवान की बहुत कृपा रहती है, श्रीमती राधा रानी की बहुत कृपा रहती है इस मंथ में। और जो जो चैंटिंग नहीं कर पाते या फिर जिन्होंने नहीं शुरू करी, वो इस महीने में जब शुरू कर सकते हैं, एक एक प्रण ले सकते हैं। वैसे तो जो जो वाह होती है वो मन से पहले ली जाती है, बट हम अभी भी उसको ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि जब जब देर आए दुरुस्त आए वाली बात, कि जब जब हमको पता लगा उसमें हम स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। तो अगर आप बिल्कुल चैंटिंग नहीं कर रहे, तो आप भगवान से ये प्रॉमिस कर सकते हैं, ये प्रण ले सकते हैं कि मैं दिन में एक बार जप करूंगी, या फिर 2 बार जप करूंगा या करूंगी। अगर आप 16 कर रहे हैं तो आप 20 कर सकते हैं। इस तरह से आप अपनी एक्टिविटीज को कृष्णा और ज्यादा कृष्णा कॉन्शियस बना सकते हैं, और भक्ति में और ज्यादा आगे हम बढ़ सकते हैं। और जो भगवान को दिया दिखाने वाला है, वो भी बहुत अच्छी एक फैमिली एक्टिविटी की तरह आप उसे कर सकते हैं। बड़े बच्चे सब मिलके भगवान को एक ही टाइम पे हम दिया दिखा सकते हैं। रात को करेंगे तो और भी बेहतर है। वैसे तो आप किसी भी दिन किसी भी समय में कर सकते हैं। और भगवान को तुलसी अगर आप इस महीने में ऑफर करते हैं तो भी बहुत अच्छी रहती है। और तुलसी महारानी की अगर हम सेवा करते हैं इस महीने में तो वो बहुत अच्छा है। और तो इसी तरह से ये जो गतिविधियां हैं, ये एक्टिविटीज हैं, हम कुछ और ऑस्टेरिटीज भी कर सकते हैं। जैसे कि अगर हम सुबह उठने के, अगर हम इच्छुक हैं, अगर हम चाहते हैं कि हम सुबह उठ के जब कोशिश करें, जब करने की कोशिश करें, अगर हम नहीं कर पाते, तो हम इस महीने कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि मैं इस महीने कम से कम रोज सुबह 5 बजे, 4 बजे, जितना जो भी समय आपको कंफर्टेबल लगता है, जो आपके कंफर्ट जोन से थोड़ा सा परे है, उसे आप कर सकते हैं। और हम ये प्रण ले सकते हैं, और हम फिर उसका जो हमारा जो कंप्लीट होगा उसे हम भगवान के चरणों में उसे अर्पित कर सकते हैं, और उनसे ये प्रे कर सकते हैं कि हे प्रभु, कि मैं कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में और सिंसियर हूँ और सीरियस हूँ, और ऐसे ही अपनी सेवा में मुझे लगाए रखिए, और मुझे और ज्यादा से ज्यादा भक्तों का संग मिले, और ज्यादा से ज्यादा मुझे ये आपके जप में रुचि मिले, और आपके जप करने में मैं अच्छे और बेहतर हो सकूं, और जो मैं पा रहा हूँ वो मैं सिर्फ प्रसाद पाऊं। इस तरह से हम ये गतिविधियां हम इस तरफ कर सकते हैं इस महीने में। आप पाएंगे कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा भी अगर आप एफर्ट लगाएंगे, आपको इतनी मदद मिलेगी इस महीने में कि इट विल बी लाइक इमेंस मर्सी विच इज फ्लोइंग इन दिस मंथ फॉर फ्री, कि लीजिए और अपनी भक्ति को आगे बढ़ाइए। और उसके बाद हम कोशिश ये कर सकते हैं कि जो हमने शुरू करा इस महीने में उसे हम आगे कंटिन्यू कर सकें, क्योंकि इसको जो स्टार्ट करने का जो पर्पस है वो यही है कि हम आगे उसे कंटिन्यू करें। ये नहीं कि महीना खत्म हुआ तो बस खत्म और उसके बाद बैक टू अवर नॉर्मल रूटीन, ऐसा नहीं है। इसकी जो जो चेतनता है वो ये है कि हम उसको आगे बनाए रखें, और उस शेड्यूल को और उस चेतनता को आगे बनाए रखें। तो इस तरह से हम इस महीने में इस महीने का फायदा उठा सकते हैं, और ऐसे हम कर सकते हैं। अगर हम लोकल टेम्पल जा सकते हैं वो तो और भी अच्छा है आपके लिए, कि आप लोकल टेम्पल जाइए। वहां पे शाम को डेफिनेटली हर इस्कॉन टेम्पल में प्रोग्राम होता है दीपदान का। आप भक्तों के साथ दीपदान करिए, और उनके साथ दीपदान करेंगे तो आपको और बेहतर लगेगा, और आपको और बहुत अच्छा आपको एक्सपीरियंस आएगा। तो इस तरह से वी कैन डू दिस एक्टिविटीज इन दिस मंथ। एंड सो दैट यही मुझे आप सबसे आपको बताना था और आप सबको ये रिक्वेस्ट करनी थी। एंड तो इसी के साथ हम आज का जो सत्र है उसे हम कंप्लीट करते हैं। किसी का कोई प्रश्न हो या फिर किसी की कोई टिप्पणी हो तो इस आज का जो हमने जो पढ़ा और हमने जो चर्चा करी तो भी हम उसको ले सकते हैं अगले 5 मिनट के लिए, अदरवाइज वी विल एंड द सेशन।
प्रभु जी, सोमेंद्र बोल रहा हूँ।
जी प्रभु जी।
अच्छा, मुझे आपका जो एक्सप्लेन करने का तरीका है बड़ा सरल और अच्छा लगा पहले तो। और दूसरा मैं ये प्रश्न पूछना चाह रहा था कि इसमें जैसे आई एम जस्ट न्यू टू दिस एंड आई हैव बीन रीडिंग हियर एंड देयर लाइक आई वाज मेंशनिंग अर्लियर, यू नो। सो इसमें हम लोग किस तरीके से समझें चीजों को, क्योंकि गीता जब मैं पढ़ता हूँ तो मुझे संस्कृत तो आती नहीं है, और मैं ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ता हूँ। जैसे मैं आपसे पहले बता रहा था, मैंने एस राधाकृष्ण जी की पढ़ी तो काफ़ी अच्छी इंग्लिश में लिखी हुई है, पर ये जैसे उनका इंटरप्रिटेशन है तो इसको हम किस तरीके से उसके पास पहुंच सकते हैं कि एक उसका अर्थ हम समझ पाए।
बहुत अच्छा आपका प्रश्न है। ये प्रश्न सबका ही ये सवाल रहता है, मेरा भी बहुत बार ये सवाल रहता था कि कौन सी पढ़नी चाहिए। इतने सारे एडिशंस अवेलेबल रहते हैं, एस राधाकृष्ण का भी है। देखिए जो भगवत गीता है वो भगवत गीता हमको वो पढ़नी चाहिए जो कि यथारूप में हो, जो कि एज इट इज हमको बताई जाए कि जिस प्रकार से भगवान कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को बताया और उसके बाद अर्जुन ने जिस प्रकार से उसे ग्रहण किया, तो वो तो सिर्फ श्लोकों में है। और जैसे आपने बताया कि हमको संस्कृत समझ में नहीं आती, तो इसलिए जो जैसे कि ये भगवत गीता है, इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, जो अभी हम पढ़ रहे हैं इस्कॉन में, वो है श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की, जो कि फाउंडर आचार्य हैं हमारे, उनकी है। उनको बोलते हैं भगवत गीता एज इट इज, यथारूप। और वो यथारूप में क्यों है? क्योंकि वो उसी तरह से दी गई है और एज इट इज उसी तरह से बताई गई है कि कोई और इंटरप्रिटेशन के बिना एज इट इज उस तरीके से, एज इट इज किस तरह से कि जिस प्रकार से जो प्रीवियस आचार्य ने उनके ऊपर जो टीका लिखा, जो टीका करा, टीका मतलब जो कमेंट्रीज करी, वो कमेंट्रीज को प्रभुपाद ने एज इट इज ट्रांसलेट करके हमको दिया है। और जो उसका जो भावार्थ है, एक तो ट्रांसलेशन होती है, सबसे पहले आता है श्लोक, उसके बाद आते हैं श्लोक के वर्ड टू वर्ड मीनिंग। उसको इंग्लिश में भी हो सकता है, वो हिंदी में भी हो सकता है, और उसके बाद उसका आता है ट्रांसलेशन और या फिर भावार्थ कि उसका मतलब क्या है, उसका ट्रांसलेशन क्या है, उसका मीनिंग क्या है। बट जो लास्ट में जो चीज आती है वो है भगवत गीता एज इट इज में परपट। परपट मतलब अनुवाद, कि इसका अनुवाद नहीं, परपट मतलब एक्सप्लेनेशन, कि इसका भावार्थ क्या है, कि इसका भाव क्या है, बताने इसको इसके बारे में, इसका मूड क्या है, और इसको हम किस तरह से समझें, क्योंकि सिर्फ श्लोक पढ़ के और ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ के हमको भगवत गीता समझ में नहीं आ सकती, जैसे आपने बताया। और
बिल्कुल सही।
हाँ, और इतना सिंपल लैंग्वेज में श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने हमको ये इंग्लिश में दिया है, आप इसे पढ़ेंगे और इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली कीप ऑन मेकिंग सेंस टू यू। तो आप इसे लीजिए और इसे पढ़ के देखिए। एंड
जी
जी, और हम क्लासेस तो कर ही रहे हैं, तो अगर आपके कोई प्रश्न आते हैं तो वी आर ऑलवेज देयर फॉर टू हेल्प यू आउट। एंड दूसरा ये कि जैसे कि हमने इसमें भी हमने जोर दिया, और आप सुबह भी हमने जोर दिया था कि जो भगवत गीता होनी चाहिए या फिर कोई भी जो शास्त्र है, वो हमको बोनाफाइड सोर्स से और एक रिकग्नाइज्ड स्कूल से पढ़ना चाहिए, जैसे हमने बात करी। और जो इस्कॉन है और जो श्रील प्रभुपाद हैं, उनके जो गुरु महाराज थे श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर स्वामी प्रभुपाद, तो उनके भी गुरु महाराज थे और उनके भी गुरु महाराज थे। तो इसी तरह से जो ये आता जा रहा है, ये एक गुरु परंपरा में आता है। और भगवत गीता स्वयं एक्सप्लेन करती है कि एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम एवं राजर्षयो विदु सकलेनहा महता योग नष्ट परंतपा, कि भगवान बताते हैं भगवत गीता के चौथे अध्याय में अर्जुन को कि हे अर्जुन, कि ये जो नॉलेज थी, ये जो ज्ञान थी, ये समय के साथ आते आते नष्ट हो गई, और परंपरा से जो ये आपको मिलती आ रही थी, ये परंपरा अब खत्म हो चुकी है। इसीलिए तुमको मैं ये दे रहा हूं ताकि मैं ये परंपरा दोबारा एस्टेब्लिश कर सकूं। 4.2 है ये, और 4.1। तो इसमें भगवान बताते हैं कि ये परंपरा मैंने दोबारा एस्टेब्लिश करी है, और श्रील प्रभुपाद दोबारा उसी परंपरा में आते हैं जो हमने स्टार्टिंग में बताया था कि देयर आर 4 संप्रदाय, ब्रह्म संप्रदाय, रुद्र संप्रदाय, श्री संप्रदाय और कुमार संप्रदाय। जो हम हैं वो हम आते हैं ब्रह्म माधव गौड़े संप्रदाय में, कि ब्रह्मा जी से, उसके बाद माधवाचार्य, उसके बाद गौड़े संप्रदाय, चैतन्य महाप्रभु से आते आते उसके बाद रूप गोस्वामी, सनातन गोस्वामी, फिर उसके बाद नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर, फिर उसके बाद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर, उसके बाद गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज, फिर श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर स्वामी महाराज, फिर उसके बाद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद, जो कि इस्कॉन के फाउंडर आचार्य भी हैं। और दूसरा हम इस तरह से भी समझ सकते हैं कि ये भगवत गीता की जब प्रीफेस हमने पढ़ी थी, उसमें आप तब नहीं थे, बट हमने ये पढ़ा था यहाँ पे कि इसमें प्रभुपाद लिखते हैं कि एक बार प्रभुपाद जब यूएस में थे, तो वहां पे उनको एक किसी फॉरेनर ने उनको अप्रोच किया और उनसे रिकमेंडेशन मांगी। तब ये भगवत गीता एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती थी, भगवत गीता एज इट इज, 1965 की बात है। तो उन्होंने बोला कि स्वामी जी, वहां पे जब उनको स्वामी जी बुलाते थे, तो उन्होंने उनको बोला, स्वामी जी आई वांट टू रीड भगवत गीता इन इंग्लिश, काइंडली रिकमेंड मी अ भगवत गीता। तो देन Prabhupada said that Prabhupada was in a dilemma that he could not recommend any Bhagavad Gita because there was no bona fide edition of Bhagavad Gita at that time. But at least there were 650 or more than 650 editions which were existing of Bhagavad Gita in English, but none of them was bona fide. कोई भी बोनाफाइड एडिशन था ही नहीं. Then Prabhupada made it that there is a need to have a bona fide edition of Bhagavad Gita as it is. It is called Yatha Roop, है ना? That is why there is a need of this Bhagavad Gita, so that we get the message as it is. And उसके बाद हम ये देखते हैं कि as soon as Prabhupada gave this Bhagavad Gita to the world, there were millions and millions of copies which have been sold, and there और इस Bhagavad Gita ने millions and millions of भक्त हैं जो बनाए हैं और भगवान की तरफ उनको अट्रैक्ट किया है, लोगों की लाइफ चेंज करी है. मैं खुद एक एग्जांपल हूँ इसका कि भगवद गीता पढ़ के मेरी लाइफ बदल गई. मैंने भी पहले एस राधा कृष्ण की भगवद गीता पढ़ी थी, 4 साल में उसमें स्ट्रगल करता रहा और चौथे चैप्टर से आगे मैं बढ़ नहीं पाया था. मैं अपनी स्टोरी बता रहा हूँ. इट वाज सो डिफिकल्ट. मैं उसकी निंदा नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but it is so difficult, and the commentary, because it is not a bona fide edition, and उसके बाद I approached these sessions, and then I started reading Bhagavad Gita, and then it was so simple, and the whole thing came to me so naturally. Yes, this is making sense to me. This is what I was looking for. This is what has been which I wanted to read, and now the puzzle has been solved, and this is where it jots down, and all the dots get more connected. And the whole thing it automatically gets solved. और इसी तरह से जैसे आप सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, मैंने भी इसी तरह से ऐसे सवाल पूछे गिरिराज प्रभु को, और उन्होंने मुझे ऐसे एक्सप्लेन किया, उसने मुझे
जी
समझाया। मैं तो इतनी जल्दी माना भी नहीं था आप शायद मान गए हो, बट मैं तो इतनी जल्दी माना भी नहीं था कि ऐसे कैसे समझूं मैं, why this and like that. But from my experience I can tell you, this is the best book that I have ever read. It has changed my life,
जी
and
जी जी
all of us should adapt it and understand it and read it, and we will automatically get to know the difference. And because देखिए
जी
क्या होता है, because our intentions are right, no matter if we, even if we are reading the wrong, but if our intentions are right, Krishna sends us to the right people. Krishna sends us the right message. Krishna sends us to the right source, and that is how, like, every one of us gets routed. It is completely dependent on what our thinking is and what our intentions are, and what our desires are. If I really want to understand, and without, like, if I have a clear mind and a clear approach without any kind of deceit like that, then means Krishna will send us to the right source, and we have to catch that right source and just keep on grabbing it. उसको पकड़ के रखना है, और उसके बाद उसको उसको समझना है, because there will be doubts. जैसे कि अगर हम कुछ हम नया शुरू करते हैं, it is natural for an intelligent person to ask questions. It is very natural for an intelligent person to have some doubts. क्योंकि अगर doubts नहीं है तो दो बातें हो सकती हैं, या तो उनको कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, या फिर the person is already faithful and he is keeping the faith on you and he is accepting everything. But the latter part is quite difficult. So that is why usually what happens is people will ask questions. There are doubts, and that is why asking questions is very important. And मैं आपको अपना एग्जांपल अपना तो मैं बता सकता हूँ कि मेरे पास बहुत सारे सवाल थे, और मेरा ऐसा कोई सवाल रहा नहीं है अभी जो आंसर नहीं हुआ. And lots and lots of questions I had. Oh, why should I do this? Why should I not do this? And where am I coming from? What this whole thing is? Everything. So many questions. Every single question has been answered, and not that key. I had to accept it by force. Everything answered with pure logic and understanding, and with such beautification of the perfection of a answer. Not that oh, then, but when we hear it, yes, I have got it. That is where you yourself will understand, I have understood it. Because it is pratyakshapagamam dharmam. It is self-realization. You will understand it from yourself. You will understand it from your end only. कि अगर जैसे कि एग्जांपल है कि अगर मुझे भूख लगी है और अगर मैंने प्रसाद पा लिया और मेरी भूख मिट गई, तो मेरे से बेटर मुझे और कौन बता सकता है मेरी भूख मिट गई? कोई और नहीं बता सकता. I myself realized that yes, now earlier I was hungry, now my hunger has gone. So that
जी
is called self-realization.
जी
And
रोनी जी
this will help us. And if you will adapt it, and with जैसे कि भगवत गीता को एक्चुअली अप्रोच करने का भी जो तरीका है वो भगवत गीता में ही आता है. हमने ये लास्ट में डिस्कस किया था, लास्ट सेशन में. आप तो उस टाइम पे नहीं थे. कि उसमें क्या कहते हैं कि तद विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेव्या उपदेक्षान्ति ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिनस् तत्वदर्शिना. क्या है कि आप उन महात्मा को अप्रोच करिए, उन लोगों को अप्रोच करिए जिन्होंने ज्ञानिनस् तत्वदर्शिना, जिन्होंने ऑलरेडी इस ट्रुथ को रियलाइज कर लिया है. और उनको अप्रोच करने के बाद क्या करना है? प्रणिपात है ना, परिप्रश्न है ना, सेव्या. ये तीन चीजें करनी होती हैं. प्रणिपात मतलब वी हैव टू बी सबमिसिव. Not that we ask in a challenging manner because I am not going to accept you, but I am asking question because I have to demean you. I have to throw a challenge at you. Not in that spirit. In a spirit, I have not understood it. It is okay to not to understand. Please kindly help me understand. So that should be the mood. And pariprashnen, then we ask questions, and then sevya, we have to serve the other person. There should be some service mood, there should be some service that we should be doing. If we have combination of these three, then we will understand this knowledge, then we will understand this realization.
जी जी रोनी महाप्रभु. तो आगे मैं समझा हूँ काफी चीजें आपने जो बताई.
जी.
इसे और समझना पड़ेगा क्योंकि इतने आराम से अंदर जाता नहीं है ज्ञान. और दूसरा एक प्रश्न छोटा सा और था. ये जैसे हम गीता सार पढ़ते रहते हैं, हर जगह लगा रहता है, बचपन से दिखते रहे, कभी दुकानों पे लगे रहते थे। तो ये गीता सार ये मतलब कहाँ से आ गया, ऐसा है क्या गीता सार? बट इट यू फाइंड इट वेरी वेरी meaningful, very simplistic, to the point. So is there a book which is like a Gita Yatha Swarup for dummies like me? So
हाँ, देखिए, तो यही है, जैसे कि हम अभी पढ़ रहे हैं इंट्रोडक्शन टू भगवत गीता। एक्चुअली ये जो अभी हम इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ रहे हैं, ये प्रभुपाद ने लिखी नहीं है, ये प्रभुपाद के लेक्चर्स थे, और इस लेक्चर को इनको कन्वर्ट कर दिया है इसमें, और उसको ऐड कर दिया गया है भगवत गीता के आगे। प्रभुपाद ने ये लेक्चर्स दिए थे, प्रभुपाद ने ये रिकॉर्डिंग करी थी, एंड वी कैन in that manner Prabhupada wanted to give an introduction to Bhagavad Gita, जिसमें भगवत गीता का पूरा सार रहे। ऐसे ही बाकी भी पब्लिकेशंस होते हैं, जैसे गीता प्रेस की भी, आई डोंट नो गीता सार आती है कि नहीं, बट अगेन द सेम थिंग इज कि अगर हमको इसको अप्रोच करना है, जैसे कि अगर हम इफ यू वांट टू रीड भगवत गीता इंट्रोडक्शन सेपरेटली, देन देयर इज अ बुक कॉल्ड इंट्रोडक्शन टू भगवत गीता। उसमें कुछ नहीं है, उसमें भगवत गीता से ही इंट्रोडक्शन लेके उसको एक अलग से बुक प्रिंट कर दी है, बट इट इज द सेम इंट्रोडक्शन ओनली। और हम जो भी पढ़ रहे हैं, इट इज इन द मिडल, दैट इज व्हाई। और आपने भी आज ज्वाइन किया है, सो बी लिटिल पेशेंट एंड थिंग्स विल सेटल डाउन ऑटोमेटिकली। धीरे धीरे अगर आप करेंगे, लाइक 1 सेशन 2 सेशन, लाइक वी हैव मेंबर्स हु आर कमिंग फॉर लास्ट 1.5 year, and they have got some kind of understanding. Some members are in the middle, and some members are like you who have just joined today, so like that. So everybody will take some time, not that कि आपको आज ही समझ में आ जाएगा। So give time, and if you hear with patience and understanding, then you will get it.
I'm sure.
Yes, and thank you for asking questions.
No, it's entirely my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And so, Hare Krishna, do we have any questions? Already हमारे 6 Hare Krishna. तो किसी और के कोई प्रश्न है? 6 ऐसे ही हमारे, हम टाइम बहुत ज्यादा हमने ले लिया है, तो अगर if we can take only one more question if there is, or any other comment, otherwise we will end the session because we are already over time. We are shooting very much over time, 20 minutes more, and don't want to do that. Okay, so no more questions, so we will end our session here. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय। गॉड प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we will end our session.
यार